LoreWarrior Online RTX-10 Raptor. Overview. Like several of the first produced Innosphere omnimechs, the Raptor was originally regarded with skepticism by many within the Draconis Combine mustered soldiery. However, Luthien Armor Works stood behind its design, eventually winning the respect of even the most die-hard traditionalists. Capabilities. Almost half the weight of the Raptor is dedicated to pod space, with the speed of the mech acting as additional protection to compensate for its light armor. While the original 5 configurations provided a gamut of designs, in an unusual move for a Combine company, Luthien Armor Works listened to the soldiers piloting the Raptor, and eventually began standard production of 2 more configurations, making it one of the most prolific of any of the Innosphere omnimechs. Deployment. May 3052 would see the first Raptors walking off the production line, with the very first mech assigned to the Dragon's Claws for testing. Additional Raptors were also sent to such commands as the Sword of Light, Genyosha, and Ghost regiments for further testing. While it took many years for the standard Combine soldier to appreciate the subtle strength of the Raptor, its performance during Operation Bulldog and the Combine Dominion War has secured it a spot as the premier light mech of the DCMS. As such, it is found in the regiments of every top-rated command within the Combine. Such prolific use has even seen the Raptor propagate to some extent beyond Combine boundaries. Notable mech warriors. Shosa Jacqueline Tokawa. Commander of the 3rd Battalion, 1st Genyosha, Shosa Tokawa piloted one of the first Raptors to enter service. Despite her initial disdain, she fell in love with the design immediately. Following the horrific use of nuclear weapons on her beloved Black Pearl on the 31st of January 3068, she became ever more reckless, finally stumbling into an ambush by the mercenaries, Sathan's snipers. Between the time her mech fell and the snipers returned from destroying her command lance, the heavily wounded Tokawa managed to crawl from under her Raptor and hide under a heap of metal until the snipers finished and withdrew. The shame of her loss has forced a blood oath of revenge. While she once more would pilot a Raptor, the very smell of its newness is an affront, a stain that she's yet to wash away in 2 failed encounters with Patrick Snodgrass. Captain Patrick Snodgrass. A member of the Sathan Sniper mercenary unit, Captain Snodgrass lost his mech in the initial months of fighting on Luthien. The snipers would salvage a Raptor F from a battlefield where they managed to surprise a Genyosha lance. The lightning-fast, all-energy platform proved a brilliant fit to his sniper mentality, and he's used it to great effect during dozens of sorties against Genyosha and Blakist positions in 68. What he didn't know, until months later, is that the recon command he ambushed almost netted him none other than Shosa Jacqueline Tokawa, commander of the 3rd Battalion, 1st Genyosha. Since that time, they have personally duelled twice, with no decisive winner. The Raptor, mass 25-ton chassis Alshane Type KR140 endo steel, power plant as an Omni 175XL, cruise of 76 speed, max of 119 with no jump jets. Armour is provided by Star Slab 4. Armament is 11.5 tons of pod space, being available with manufacturer being Luthien Armor Works primary factory on Luthien. Communication system is the Cypher Comcon SCU-9, and targeting and tracking is the Matabushi Stalker. It has a walk of 7, a run of 11 with no jump, with 10 double heat sinks providing 20 in all. It has 56 armor factor with 6 on the head, 8 on the CT, 2 on the rear, 7 on the right and left torso with 2 on the rear, 5 on the right and left arm, and 6 on the right and left leg. It has several configurations. The primary configuration is a medium laser in the right arm, a small laser in the right arm, an LRM-5 in the right torso, 2 machine guns in the right torso with its ammunition, another medium in the left arm, a small in the left arm, and then 2 more LRM-5s, 1 in the left torso and 1 in the center torso, with about 24 rounds of ammunition. The A configuration does away with missiles. It has a small laser in the right arm, a large laser in the right torso, 2 more small lasers, 1 in the right torso and left arm, and then another large laser in the left torso. The B configuration is a splat machine, triple SRM-6, with a single small laser as backup, spread between the right torsos, the left torso, and the CT, with 30 rounds of fire between the 3. Alternate configuration C is an interesting one. A small pulse in the right arm with an extra double heatsink, 2 medium lasers in the right torso, an AMS system with 12 rounds of AMS. It has a left arm small pulse laser, another double heatsink with 2 more medium lasers in the left torso, rounding it out with another 2 more medium lasers in the CT. Alternate configuration D is a bit of a pack hunter targeting scout vehicle for artillery. It has a small laser in the right arm, a Streak 2 in the right torso, 2 machine guns for anti-infantry work, a tag system, a small laser in the left arm, a C3 slave unit, a Streak SRM-2 again in the left torso, with its ammunition of 50 rounds, a Beagle active probe, and another Streak 2 in the CT. Then there's alternate configuration E, which switches up to the MRM models, triple MRM-10s with about 48 shots in total spread between the 3 launchers, and a small laser in the right torso. And the final configuration is the F configuration, which mounts an ER medium in the right arm, a double heatsink in the right arm, some jump jets giving it a limited amount of jump capability, another double heatsink in the right torso, 3 ER mediums in the left arm, and then jump jets, double heatsink, and a final ER medium in the CT. So, yeah, the Raptor, it's basically a TV with arms and a pair of legs. It's probably not the most, like, iconic, oh, wow, I'm going to remember that thing. But at a time where omnimechs were a natural progression tech-wise for the Inner Sphere, it makes sense that a lot of these earlier mechs would be kind of functional rather than any kind of, like, pleasing aesthetic about them. And the Raptor being one of the first, I think it was a really smart choice to make something that looked quite low-tech, despite the fact that it actually uses quite advanced technology. If you see what I mean, it's like that first kind of foray, similar to, let's go right there. The First World War, when tanks were first introduced, they had a very specific look that was functional. There wasn't any kind of more advanced sort of look into, say, deflection purposes for the armor, or angling and that kind of thing. It was already quite advanced for its time, and you see those very early tanks, for instance. This is the same kind of thing I get with the Raptor. It's the very first omnimech, or one of the very first omnimechs out there, and thus it's very functional. It has a boxy square body. The head is just like a big glass thing. The engine is centered sort of in the middle and into the sort of leg assembly area. And it just has little gun arms, and that's it. It's built around its function, and that's it. It just runs fast and tries not to get shot because it's got virtually no armor. This thing would die quickly. I would use one of these things as a harasser. That it would be something that would just really annoy the players. I mean, even in the standard configuration, that is exactly what it does. Triple LRM-5 can just hurtle around the place, dump missiles at you, hoping to score a crit on a mech that's already opened up, or a vehicle that's already opened up, and then it's got some backup and a clutch of lasers, 2 mediums, 2 small, and a pair of machine guns. When it has to get close, it can still do an alright amount of damage. And we're talking about a 25 tonner here that actually does pretty decent on weapons, and you can see that across the variants. And if PGI, I don't think it's a case now that PGI are in a financial position, or even in a position to care, to want to do something. Omnimechs for the Inner Sphere would have been a natural, again, progression within the game to add that kind of tech to them. And God, you would have seen some incredible builds out there. But I mean, just the defaults. I mean, you're looking at like alt configuration A is a spammer's wet dream. It's just all energy hardpoints, and it's a 25 tonner that's mounting like 2 large and triple small. That's a popular setup right there, where you can tweak and quirk and all the rest of it. And you got your splat builds, your SRM-6 builds, your MRM-10 builds. MRMs are already a popular build, so I mean, like a 25 tonner that's sprinting around that fires 30 MRMs each salvo, pretty impressive. And then you've got some of the more interesting ones. The Delta configuration, if it were in MWO, for instance, would actually be the kind of mech I would see that would be the sort of Inner Sphere opposite to the Kit Fox with all the AMS systems. This would be the same thing. I could see it's just packed with sensor technology and stuff like that. So I could see that having like a load of extra AMS system hardpoints built into it. To make that more desirable for players, and and you just got some of the others like the C version and stuff. So the C version of the AMS, like the Delta one, is the one that's got like the stealth armor and shit that people will put on it. And yeah, the F configuration would stand out because, hey, it can jump in the air, whee! And that'd be the only like main benefit of that. But it's a cool little mech. I actually quite like it. I hope Catalyst get to the point where they start making some modern redesigns of the Raptor. I'd be interested to see what they would do to bring it up to modern standards, I guess, visually. But yeah, the first omnimech for LoreWarrior, yeah, the Raptor. So I'll leave it there. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for listening, and yeah, I'll catch you next time. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye.